Hello, everyone. Tonight, we are going to be covering the 7 habits of highly effective people. Habit number 3, put first things first. This actually was my favorite. Oh, I'm going to do the presenting here, presenting mode, so you don't have to see all the rest. There we go. Can you guys see it okay? Good. Awesome. Thank you. So this was like my favorite of all. I mean, I liked them all, but this one was definitely one of my very favorites. And you'll see why when we get going. But here we go. I'm so excited. So, habit 3, put first things first. This is the principle of focus, which Jennifer Polk is always needing. I don't know about you guys, but that's something I need. It's always about focus. And it's about spending our time in a way that aligns with our values and reflects our vision for our vision of our lives and the lives that we want to achieve and the future that we want to achieve. So we want to protect that time and what is pursuing it. So in habit number 1, it was all about you're in charge. You're in charge. And then habit 2 last week was vision. You need to know where you're going, right? And this one is the day in, day out, moment by moment things that we are doing that make such a difference. Okay, come, there we go. Oh, so the paradigm, that's like, our glasses, when we put glasses, if I put on Kathleen's glasses or Anne, let's see, Anne or Carol's wearing glasses and Martina. If I put on Martina's or Anne's or Carol's glasses, I probably couldn't see as well as I have my glasses on, right? So, but my glasses, I see things in a way that is my way of seeing. And so if we always stay with only our glasses, that gives us kind of a skewed outlook and sometimes not a good outlook. So the common paradigm is I don't have time, I'm too busy. How many times have we heard that, right? I'm just too busy, I'm too busy. Versus a highly effective paradigm, and that is all about I protect time for what's important to me. This time matrix that we learned about, it is the quadrants. You might hear about different quadrants, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this particular tool, this time matrix tool, will help us manage our time and decide what's most important. That's what it's all about. So on on the left side, you'll see we have important things and not important things. And then on the top, across the top, we have urgent and not urgent. So in quadrant 1, that's all about necessity. This is crisis mode, emergency meetings, pressing problems, those last minute deadlines you get a call. You have, to get something somewhere, or when our son Justin, when it was in his car accident, that was an emergency. We all have those, right? Unforeseen events. We don't want to stay in that quadrant. Some people I know live in that quadrant, and it's not fun. It's not a fun. It's very draining, right? And then we have quadrant 2, so go straight across. It's important, but it's not urgent. This is your effectiveness, your proactive work, your important goals, creative thinking, planning and prevention, relationship building, learning and renewal, and recreation. Do you think that's a good place to be? Number 2, quadrant 2. Do you want to live in that one? MJ saying yeah.
I
And
think
say
that's a good one.
I
okay.
do. Yeah.
Okay. Then, so the first one, quadrant 1, acts on us. And then the second one is when we are acting, right? Then you have quadrant 3. So down in the lower left-hand corner. Not important, but urgent. These are distractions. Maybe notifications on your phone. Ding, 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 right? Needless interruptions. Um, right now it's sometimes can be Jessie. Sometimes they're very needed. She has to go to the bathroom, but sometimes she's like, "Hey, mom, hey, hey, hey," right? Maybe it's kids, maybe unnecessary reports that you have to do, irrelevant meetings, other people's minor issues. So this isn't crisis, okay? These are minor issues. They got a hangnail. You just never know. Unimportant emails, tasks, phone calls, status posts, all kinds of things like that. Quadrant three is the please like me quadrant. This is the people pleaser mode. How many of us get stuck there? I know I do from time to time, right? Then we have quadrant four. Quadrant four is waste. This is trivial work. This is avoidance activities. This is excessive relaxation, TV watching, gaming, internet, time wasters, gossip. We had a whole conversation about this in the class. You do want recreation and relaxation. So the big thing to know if you're watching too much or relaxing too much, because you can't just keep going on and on and on. You'll burn out. You will burn out. But after you finish watching a movie or like the whole series of Yellowstone, um, do you have satisfaction that you did that, or do you have regret? And if you have regret, then that is you're like, ooh, I don't know if that's good. So sometimes things are urgent and important, right? And that's okay. Like those, you got to take care of those, but you want to manage that. Okay. You don't want to get stuck in quadrant one. That is not a good place to get stuck. Quadrant two, protect it and do not neglect it. And I'm going to give you some other strategies to try to stay in quadrant two. That's where you want to be. Quadrant two is where you want to live as much of your life as you can. Okay. And then quadrant three, you want to limit those times. You definitely do not want to chase that. You want to know, just like in our second habit, you do not want to have your ladder going up the wrong tree. So you got to pay attention. What are interruptions? What are needless interruptions? And what are necessary interruptions, right? And then quadrant four, don't want to live in there. You want to skip it. Don't default to it. Somebody starts gossiping, just say, gosh, I didn't know that. Okay. And then just switch the subject, right? Change the subject. Quadrant three definitely is the most challenging to stay out of. It's easy to say that. It's harder to do. It really is. It's harder to stay because we all like a good story, right? So yes, you want to stay in that too, as far as much as you can. How many here have heard of the big rocks analogy? Have you seen it? Martina's seen it. Carol, have you seen big rocks? Have you ever seen this? And have you? No? Okay, good. Okay. So there, I'll post. There's several videos, but this experiment was amazing to me. So if you take a bowl and you put a whole bunch of sand in the bowl, okay, and then you try to fit big rocks in, it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit at all. So if the big bowl is your time, and then you have your priorities, those are your big obligations. And we'll talk a little bit about that. You want to put those big obligations in there first. Then everything else fits in, all the sand fits in everywhere else and fits in. You're never going to have enough time. It'll overflow. but you want your overflowing to be with sand and not your priorities. And priorities we'll talk about on the next page. But I loved what Stephen Covey says here. If you were to ask me what is the single practice that would do more to balance your life and increase your productivity than any other, it would be this: plan your week each week before the week begins. I'll say it again because I think this is huge. Plan your week each week before it begins. And that's something that I was doing, Chris and I were doing religiously. We're planning. We write out our whole week, and you schedule in your big rocks first. Then those are the non-negotiables. And then all the rest fit in. So this is all about planning your week. So the three things that you want to do is you want to connect with your mission, your roles, and your goals. And we did a really kind of a nice little plan your week roles. We wrote down like, what are your top 7 roles? So what are some roles that we play? We'll make this one interactive since I don't have my cohort in crime tonight. What are some roles that we play?
Like preparing dinner,
Wife, yep.
chores,
Yep. Yep.
Grandmother.
Grandmother. Consultant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneur,
pet owner.
pet
Yep.
owner.
Yep.
It's a big one, right?
It is for me.
Yep.
I know it is for you guys too.
What about being a friend,
Yep.
right? Serve.
Parent,
What, Mike?
parent,
Yeah, parent. Very good. Yep. What about yourself? Like self-care things, right? So those are some good big rocks that we want to put in there. And which roles would benefit from your attention this week? So some weeks we know we have a lot going on, right? And so we might be able to balance. And then how can we achieve balance in those roles in the week? And then which long-term goals do you want to make progress on this week? So those are your 3 big questions every week you want to ask. Right now I'm working on my taxes. That's one of my roles as an entrepreneur, is to get my taxes in, right? So I have some assignments that I've written down that I need to get those things done. And that's important because if we don't plan ahead, then they're going to really, it's going to come and it's going to make me frustrated, right? Versus right now, it's still the middle of February. I have a month to get everything together and I have to get it in before March 15th for my business. And then April 15th for all of you guys that March 15th for everyone who has businesses, April for everyone else, unless you file an extension. So then you got to find, what your big rocks are. Then you want to schedule your big rocks. And instead, like, you can't do everything. We can't do everything. So the big question to ask is, what are the 1 or 2 most important things I can do in the role this week? So as a wife, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a consultant, as a friend, what is 1 or 2 things that you can do in each one of those roles? And then write them in, because if you don't write them in, they don't happen. And then number 3 is to organize the rest. Schedule all those other activities. Right now, I know MJ, you've told us like she had surgery, so she has a lot of PT and doctor's appointments, right? We've all had those times in our lives. You schedule those. You got to take care of your health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. You have nothing, right? And then you do them around those big rocks. So some tips for weekly planning. When should I do it? before the week begins. So Sunday night, that's our time that I sit down and write down my big rocks. Where find some place that's quiet. Find a quiet spot. And then how long? It should only take you once you get your system down, 20 to 30 minutes. Who here does their calendar the Sunday before? MJ does, Mike does, Ann does. Yep.
Dave and
Yep.
I just got a skylight. Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
So it's a digital camera, but it's like a huge laptop and it sits on our counter. And it's great because we use one calendar, but we put and color
Everything.
code it.
Mm-hmm.
So we use my home calendar to enter like his calendar. That's like the primary, but all the sub ones are off that. And it was great because I thought my PT was at noon, and he's like, your calendar, the calendar says your PT's at 10:30. And I went, oh, really? And then I went in and I checked my email, and sure enough, he was right. So, kind of, even though there's just two of us, to have that balance and check, especially when your brain's a little foggy, it really helps.
Yeah, no. So Skylight, that's great. Yes, having one calendar.
Hmm.
Yep, that's
And it
wonderful.
hooks to your phone and everything. So,
That's cool. Is it an app?
it is an app on your phone, but it's also hardware.
Hey.
So you get what?
Nope.
Oh,
That
what were
was
you saying?
my phone.
Oh, oh. I thought you yelling at my dog. So, yeah, so it's like I said, you can get a huge one. You can get like I call it a billboard one, like a
Uh-huh.
chalkboard, or I have the smaller one that's like, I don't know, 10 by 12. And it sits on my countertop, and I can put it to the week, to the month. I mean, it has all kinds of, you can put your recipes in there, you can put your photos in there. It just really depends on what you want to use it for. I
Yeah.
saw it from a friend of mine when I was on vacation last fall, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And Dave's like, we need one of those. And it really has helped.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
So Stephen Covey says, I wish you success in saying no more often so that you can say yes to the people and the things that matter most to you. That one was like, oof, hit me hard. It was a good hard though. Okay, come on. There we go. So just to recap, and we did a couple more things, but we try to keep this because I thought there was going to be someone else with me tonight. Habit 3, put first things first. Again, it was all about focus. It's protecting time every week for what matters most and then following through on those commitments. So we will go, back through this. The um see, do, get, that everything is see, do, get in our training. So when we see, that's the paradigm. I protect time for what's most important. Then we practice focusing on priorities versus the things using, trying to stay in that quadrant 2 as much as possible. And we eliminate the unimportant. And then we plan every single week. Then we get alignment between how we spend our time and of what matters most, and we increased organization, we get productivity, and then we have greater self-discipline and accountability. And so if we don't put those big rocks in, if you don't put LifeVantage in to do the business, guess what? You're not going to be successful. It's just not going to happen. It's not a priority. So if it's a priority, and then it's doing income producing activities. And what are income producing activities? It's talking to people, reaching out, and doing the core 4, which was what we're doing with our new power half hour. And Thank you guys. And next week we have when is next week and going. It's really cool. So what happens is you go from personal, like private victories, the first three of these, to public victories now, the win-win. And that's so next week, Becky Taylor will be sharing with me. So gather, gather, gather. And I cannot wait to see you guys. I'm going to stop
Will you be
recording.
sending that out on Team Hope?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. This recording?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, I will. Let me stop recording.